All direct pass, game number 1, everybody. Murky Cup qualifier number 2, and we are in the semifinals. So now teams can start to lock in some bounties. There's a couple of things to talk about, of course, but first of all, as we're starting into this, again, as a side note, we have $2,000 of prize money for this tournament. Entire tournament, the Murky Cup's powered by I Can't Wait. The man, an absolute chat coming in here and making sure that this is actually happening. So there's a bit of a variation of the Banshee Cup that we had. We're introducing we introduced the bounty system initially with the Banshee Cup, and now we're using the same bounty system with some small tweaks for the Murky Cup as well. We have now 6 qualifiers in total, all of them single elimination system, and through the qualifiers you gather points that will, if you perform well, qualify you for the playoffs. Now, teams can also go for bounties. The prize pool is split into normal prize money for the top teams, and then also prize money that finds itself in the bounty pool. And as you complete bounties, which is essentially you playing certain heroes or talents and then getting a ticket for the bounty pool. And at the end of the tournament, at the end of the playoffs, we're looking at all of the bounties that have been completed. We're looking at how many bounties have been completed by each team. And then you get a share of that bounty pool accordingly. So the bounties, you can find them right here. This is essentially what we're currently doing here, especially when we're talking about the Exodia stack, the team that is now playing here in the semis. They've been racking up bounties like crazy. They've been really trying to get as many bounties as they possibly can, focusing on that. You always have to make a risk-reward calculation when you're thinking about bounties, and when you want to, you know, get some extra money there. Is it worth it? Do we just focus for the tournament, or the tournament victory, to just get one win after another? Do we try and complete bounties? And the Exodia stack, at least, of course, one of the favorites also in the tournament, they came in and decided right from the start that they want to heavily focus on bounties, at least in the first qualifier. And I don't see a reason why they wouldn't try to continue with that path. Now, when you look at those bounties, a team can only complete a bounty once, but every single team has their own bounty board. So let's say we already have the Exodia stack completing the Cho'Gall bounty. Then the dudes could do the same thing. They could complete a Cho'Gall bounty for themselves, but the Exodia stack can't play Cho'Gall again in another series. Well, they can play the hero, but they're not going to get a second bounty ticket for it. So it's highly likely that they are going to try and make some moves with that now, in the attempt to come in, you know, get more bounties, get a bigger share of that bounty pool, and other teams will most likely going to try to also complete at least a few, so that they get some extra prize money out of all of that. So we're trying to incentivize teams to play other heroes by giving them the option, but not forcing them. The one thing where we are forcing people to think a bit outside of the box, though, is that we have a draft restriction where a hero can only be played once within a series. So after game number 1, for example, you're not going to see Junkrat again in this best of 3. And this is actually quite nice. I personally like the rule a lot, because it means you don't have the same heroes over and over being played throughout a match. You will still see them within an individual series compared to the next, but we're not having 3 times Blaze on the side lane, just to name one. Now in this one, the first game, we got Tracer and we got Lucio. Mopsio playing for the dudes right now with the Nubarak. And a little bit of a side tangent here, the dudes, they have... I named them the dudes because I felt it was very fitting for the team. But they actually had, in the first qualifier, they hadn't chosen a name yet, so they were called Name to be Determined or something like that. And now they chose a name, but they called themselves Blue Team. And I'm just not doing that. They're playing on the red team side the entire time. And I am not confusing myself and everybody else involved here with that. So yeah. Abathar gets banned? I thought they already completed the Abathar bounty. I'm actually pretty sure that they did. So yeah, Exodia stack completed the Monstrosity bounty. I'm not sure if they would go for Abathar again. I am very certain that they are going to just, you know, come in and over try for bounties, at least at the beginning. Now that they picked Tyrael Malfurion, I start to question that a bit more, but Dino still has plenty of opportunities to go for damage dealers that would complete a bounty for them. So, yeah. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in qualifier number 2, they're just trying to go for quick wins. But given the position that they have, given that they won the first qualifier and are the top of the leaderboard to qualify for the playoffs, I would really be surprised if they didn't try and do that. So now on the red team side, for the dudes, we get the final 2 picks. We have Illidan and we have Cassia. Illidan is actually a bounty. If you pick the hunt, it is a bounty. It's probably one of the easier ones to complete, but it seems like the dudes are trying to complete a bounty in game number 1 as well. At least potentially, unless of course they're picking Metamorphosis after they get their heroics. But I like that. It's definitely one of the easier bounties for sure. Keep in mind, in the Murky Cup, if you win a game with Murky, you complete the Murky bounty, and you get 3 tickets. So extra incentive to play Murky at some point. And Dino picks Artanis. Okay, I guess at least in this game, we're not getting a bounty attempt from them. Ordering pass, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 in our best of 3 series in the semifinal of Murky Cup qualifier number 2. Game number 1, semifinal in Murky Cup qualifier number 2. Over on the left side, we have the Exodia stack with Hazu on Junkrat, Yasu on Malfurion, Dinos playing Trash Tennis, and then Tyrael played by Nagrom, and Sven on Hogger. So actually subs today for the blue team, so they're playing with a couple of subs. This might also play a bit of a role on whether or not they're going to play for a lot of bounties today. So maybe with the subs playing today for them, they're not really as comfortable as they were in the first qualifier. Either way, over on the right side, the red team, the dudes with Blood Cool on Cassia, we get Gavel on Tracer, Ultralisk on Illidan, Mopsion on Uberak, and Ixia is playing Lucio. So, as is, we have on level 1 for Tannis, the reactive parry. We're getting Illidan with the unending hatred. Yeah. Always a nice, like, endless stacking talents are always fun if you make it into these late game scenarios, and they have a certain charm to them, of course, too. And you always need to work around the dings, right? So that's one of the things that's currently happening here. Feel the hatred of 10,000 Hero League games. Who doesn't? So, quick collapse onto the top lane, trying to take them out there. Yeah, so with Nagrom and Sven subbing in for the Exodia stack, Benny not here, for example, I think we might get less bounty attempts from them. I would not completely disregard that as a possibility, though. Ultralisk is now starting to make his move at the bottom of the map. I'm very curious to see not only what his level 10 choice is, I still very heavily assume that he is going to get himself hunt and that they're trying for a bounty here, but also how much of an impact is Illidan really going to have. Right now, things are actually going much better for him than I expected. He might die now, but they could get a counter kill. Ugh, they were so close. Nearly got a counter kill on this. But Illidan is always a fun hero, and even in the days of HGC, there were a couple of players that finally showed everybody again how Illidan can have a huge impact in games. Rich in particular, of course, comes to mind. And what the Europeans learned very quickly when they played against Korea was that you don't leave Illidan alone on the lane, or you're gonna start losing structures very, very quickly. So, as is right now, Illidan could, on a big map like this, use his pseudo-global to help the team out, but also try and push for lanes. So if you want to have somebody on the side lane pushing a bit more, he would definitely fit that build. You can play him, of course, in the triple melee setup, which is not the case here. We still have 2 range damage dealers for the dudes. We got Cassia and we got Tracer that will be zipping around and trying to dish out some damage. But at the top lane, at least, Ultralisk right now in the early game still doing his thing. Illidan always a character, a hero that scales well into the late game. So, yeah, we'll see how much they can do on that. Because right now, 1 kill to 0, not really too much going on just yet. But let's see who is going to get the first objective, for example. I mean, we're not on level 7 yet or anything. That we have now with level 4, Underking for Anubarox are gonna dive hard here. There's not really a lot of stuns that they can use in order to follow up on anything that Mopsio does with Anubarox here. So it's really just a composition that is trying to drive past the opponent, I suppose, and make their moves there. But yeah, Mopsio is taking the cam together with Bloodpool now, and over on the left side, it's Junkrat who's making the plays. Up at the top, Spray Game is at least on point, I like that. And down at the bottom, Gavlo is now slowly starting to rotate around and make a couple of moves here. So, little fight happening, and that might be the next kill, and indeed it is. The second kill for the Exodia stack as they are taking down Lucio. So that's already a setback for the dudes, as they are losing some ground on the objective. No interrupts, the Tyrael channels the prisoner camp. And who knows, maybe they are winning the entire thing. Now with the Nubarak picked, of course, on this map, you can always try and go for a solo channel, but that hasn't happened yet. Mopsir could do that later if he's able to sneak in, but I would expect that the blue team is covering their bases and not allowing Nubarak to just spawn beetles to distract the footman here. In this case, they're trying to stop the objective. Nice interrupt from Nagro, and they're gonna get this one. Or are they? Bloodcool needs to be interrupted. Once again, it's Tyrael, the man for the job, but he might have sacrificed his life for the objective, and yes, that's what he did. Both teams are on level 7. The cavalry is coming in, but oh, nice, cool play against Lucio again from Dino. Trash Tannis, viable. Nice swap into a Malfurion route, and that marks the end of Lucio. So they might have lost Tyrael, but at the same time they were able to take down the healer of the opponent. So job really well done here. I like it. Pretty sweet move. But how much actually can they do with the first set of the cavalry? Normally not all that much. It's not that strong yet. We are just barely 5 minutes into the game. They're opening up a couple of walls here. I think Tyrael at the bottom of the map has probably the best shot to do some work on this. And is slowly starting to do his thing here. They might... You know what? Ah, okay, here comes here comes the defense. I was about to say, they might even get the entire thing. They might still. I mean, Nagrom is going to explode on it and takes the minion wave down. This is insanely low. And by the way, this is not the only lane that is struggling. Just look at the top side. Over here, we have 3 pushing for the next fort. So the dudes are in some real trouble. They're having some actual problems. And this could become very problematic for them. I mean, level 10 just kicked in, and the gap isn't big, but it's a window that you can use just to go for the attack here, for example. The fort at the top lane has been destroyed. The one at the bottom of the map is super low. Now both teams have heroics. No big surprises, and the hunt kicks in, so we get a bounty attempt. Bounty attempt for the red team. The dudes are trying to complete the Illidan bounty. Currently, we have 13 stacks on the level 1 for Illidan, so not really that much of an impact yet. With level 7 he went into Unbound and is getting his stacks together there too. They're pushing at the bottom of the map. Late game is going to be important. Distance to safety is a huge thing if you are playing with Illidan. So it's definitely a massive concept. Once that forts are destroyed, once that keeps are destroyed, you really can play heavily around that, and this is what we're going to get here. So yeah, I'm just not sure how far they can push this, but yeah. Alright, let's see. Okay, by now 3 kills to 2, 11 to 11. Fort at the bottom. I still expect somebody to move down to the bot lane and try and take that additional fort out. Once that you have more catapults pushing on the lane, that's always pretty sweet. But yeah, at the top, Illidan is just trying to farm as much as he can, obviously, on his stacks. So going up against Dainu over and over again and making his plays here. He's sitting at 19 stacks now, 10 on the 7. So again, late game is going to be nice for them if they can get to that point. We have a couple of stuns on the other side. You have Malfurion with the Root, you have a Travon Junkrat, you have Hogger with a Shockwave. Against Illidan, of course, blinds can be quite nice. The ult from Artanis comes to mind, but normally what you really want against him, you want to have a CC chain. If he can't auto-attack, he is just completely helpless. So if you get a stun chain going, that is the best thing that you can do in a situation like this. And they're going to try and execute this as best as they can. But yeah, Illidan could be a problem for the blue team if in the late game. But if at this point the Exodia stack already has a massive lead with structures being taken out, then it's a bit of a different story. Illidan completes his level 1, so he's going to continue stacking it, but has of course now the extra damage. And it just comes in time for the next objective. So next objective kicks in, now we can go here. And I have to remind everybody again that there's 2 subs playing for the Exodia stack today. Those guys are still really good and have played, of course, with the players on the blue team before, but it makes a difference whether you properly practice with them or not. Hunt being used, they're trying to go for Nagrom, and Tyrael is in real trouble, but where's the kill? Illidan is trying to follow and can't. Nice ult also from Artanis, trying to help out a bit with the blind so that Tyrael could eventually escape. But it was a nice little attack that they executed there. Good coordination, but just not enough damage to take Tyrael out. That would have been an awesome kill at the perfect moment in time. Still more hits coming through from Illidan. We have 12 stacks now for him on his level 7. Went into Nimble Defender. The fight is being pushed by the Exodia stack on the other hand. Sanctification on the ground as they're starting to make the move. Tranquility for even more sustain from Malfurion now. And yeah, they are making some real headway here. So, blue team falls back. Nobody going for the objective yet. And that allows for Illidan to get more stacks at the bottom of the map, or at least work on those. His damage output, as usual, isn't really all that impressive in the early stages. If at all, he's gonna get that damage in the late game. But normally, when you're just looking at raw numbers, Illidan is not bringing all that much. But he's really the one that can leech onto a target in the mid and late game and just follow up on that. And be a huge problem. Also on structures, as I said earlier, if you leave him alone on a fort, on a keep, that thing's just gone. Can still use the pseudo-global to jump into the fight here with the hunt, and he will later. Tracer with 31,000 damage. 20,000 for Junkrat. Illidan at the bottom. They could start to hunt in. They definitely need him here. This could be a problem. The fight is being pushed, and it's a 4 versus 5. Everybody's low. Malfurion in particular. Here comes Illidan, and Malfurion is gone. Ultralist diving in deep to take down the healer, take down his brother, the Kinslayer. But they lose Cassia on the back end of the fight. Still maybe a bit of a chance, but here comes the Riptire. And Ultralist nearly gets taken out by it. But Sven also attacked. Nice play from Lucio here. Lucio with the bubble. It allows them to go for the next kill. And they are claiming the life of Hoga. 4 kills to 4. Both teams very even in experience. I like that a lot. I really, really do. So this is looking pretty sexy right now. And let's see how much is possible for them here. With that objective, with that potential push. Because level 16 is closed for the red team now. They have 50 stacks on Illidan. Again, he's slowly getting there. We're only 11 minutes in. We can expect usually a longer game on this map. But now there's some opportunities for them for sure. Illidan is becoming more of a nuisance. Level 16 is kicking in. Having also Cassia at this point with martial law. Illidan has the Blades of Azeroth. And as I said earlier, with his level 1 stacking and stacking, he can really leech onto a single target and try and take it out. And that's a problem for Malfurion in particular. So definitely an issue. They're already pushing through the middle, trying to take some of the walls out here. See what they can do with this. 16 now available on both sides. And once again, we have the next move for the camp. I was honestly expecting that a Nubarak would make a play eventually and just try to at least get the team a lead. Not necessarily get the entire thing, but spawn a couple of beetles and slowly start it up. Now they're going to try and interrupt that whenever they can, but no, hasn't happened so far. Illidan now still at the bottom of the map, pushing for the lanes. And yeah, I expected more of a fight over the next camp already. So far that hasn't happened. It will eventually. Now that Nagrom is moving in, Tracer was trying to get a bit cheeky on the left side. But this game is way closer than I expected. And yes, granted, again, the subs obviously play a role with that. But I love that it's such a close semi-final here in game number 1. And that we have the bounty attempt of the dudes as well on top of it. So, yeah. 50,000 damage from Tracer now. Look at the siege damage of Illidan. 100,000 on the side lane. Junkrat a bit farther behind him. And he is really doing some work at the bottom of the map. The wall is now opened up. Illidan is, of course... Ooh, nice. Nice combo. Ultralisk, hello? And he seems to be able to get away. But Sven nearly got a solo kill against him. Oh, Sven! Oh my god! No freaking way! Illidan survives. Sven bossing it up like a beast. And nearly getting a solo kill against Illidan here. That was impressive. That was seriously impressive. It's actually a shame that he wasn't able to pull it off. Tyrael gets now attacked in the meantime and is able to save his life with Sanctification. Malfurion gets attacked. Illidan instantly becomes the target as he hunts in. They try to go for Dainu and he falls. Trash Tannis is eliminated and Malfurion goes down as well. That's the moment where the game could flip. Now we got 6 kills, 2-4. They just got the double kill. They can send Illidan towards the top. They can go for the objective. This is starting to look better and better now for the dudes. They're building up momentum in this series. And they can take objective, maybe even a few forts with it now. They themselves already lost 2. They lost 2 forts earlier. Ultralis already chasing Illidan, or at least trying to. But they're going for the fort at the top, even without the help of the Raiders. And the Raiders are now going to kick in. This is a nice little attempt down here at the bottom of the map. As long as they can sneak it in, that's fine. Question is, of course, always if they can, or if there's going to be some problems. Because, well, here comes Ixia, and he sees what's coming. Illidan has his ult back, so he should theoretically be... They are going to steal this. They're already rotating over. They have more heroes here. Illidan can hunt in a moment. They should be able to claim this without a problem. Hogga is already gone. Hogga is down. And boy, this is bad news for the Exodia stack. Illidan comes in. They're taking Hazo. At least they want him. He barely escapes. Sanctification is used too. Now the fight for the actual boss. Immediately the ult from Lucio. And that's too much for the blue team to handle. The Exodia stack is doing what they can, but I just don't see it. There's too many opponents here. Stun after stun is coming through. Blood Cool. Now there's the kill on Tyrael. Artanis is dead as well. The boss is taken. And the Raiders are doing work at the top lane already. Breaking through the gate. Pushing for the keep. Rest of the team is trying to run away. Illidan leeching onto Malfurion. They get a stun and take him down too. That's 4 heroes down. Level 20 kicked in. Hunt upgraded. And an utter disaster now for the blue team. For the Exodia stack. They're getting absolutely crushed at this point. We got Rewind for Anubarak. We got Titan's Revenge for Cassia. And they are gonna lose at least 1 keep in this situation. There is way too much happening for the blue team to defend all of these lanes. It's not possible at this point anymore. Illidan with 65 stacks now. They get Hogga destroyed. 66 stacks on the level 1. Another kill. And they actually want to end it. Only 1 armor shield removed. That's normally definitely a bit of a warning sign where you don't want to go for the core just yet. But they got the confidence. They got the boss. Why wouldn't they? They're moving in. They're trying to take it down. And they're burning the Exodia stack to a crisp at this point. Dino is back. Trash Tannis falls once more. And that's all she wrote. A 1-0 lead in the best of 3 here at the semifinal of Murky Cup qualifier number 2 for the dudes.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
So, I guess the Exodia stack actually lost the first map. Look at that. It's the first map that they lose in the tournament too. So now we have a 1-0 lead for the dudes. And also, they completed the Illidan bounty. So the 10 heroes that have been played on the first map cannot be played again in this semi-final. Again, keep the draft restriction in mind for that. But when it comes to bounties, it's gonna get interesting. So again, here's the bounty board for everybody to quickly check out. Several bounties were already completed by the blue team. It doesn't really seem that they want to go for bounties. They have 2 players that are subbing in today for some of their normal players that couldn't make it. And therefore, I guess they are only looking, or mainly looking, for points for the leaderboard to make sure that they can go into the playoffs without a hitch. But very nicely done here by the dudes completing the Illidan bounty, and we'll see if they're gonna try more. Now that we're heading into Infernal Shrines, there's obviously the chance to try and lock another bounty in for yourself. But time will tell. Right now, it's just all about, let's see what they're gonna be picking, let's see what the blue team is gonna do. Essentially, if you're already 0-1, it's highly unlikely that you're going to go for a bounty. Keep in mind, the reason why we're actually putting these bounties out there is because all of the heroes that are on that list are not played a lot, or the combos are not really played a lot, which means that we are literally incentivizing you with money to play stuff that would be a handicap for you. Now, there's of course a couple of strategies that have made plays in the past, but again, teams normally try to go for something more stable. Let's say backdoor strategy, or sometimes you see Cho'Gall being put out there. Some of those bounties are definitely a bit more crazy than others, but that's by design. When the question came up just recently again, oh, why don't we have bounty where you have to combo this with that and then do this? We try to keep it simple. As a concept already, if you don't watch every single tournament, every single match, then it might be a little bit much to really grasp it. And our goal was to just give some fun ideas there to the teams and push them outside of their comfort zone a little bit. But don't make it too convoluted. and now all of a sudden, you know, force teams to play 3 heroes in tandem and execute a one-bow combo. Even just saying you have to play certain ults at the beginning was something where I was a bit on the fence. I wasn't quite sure if that would make sense or not, if you should limit it to picks only. But I think that worked quite well. But again, the idea is to keep it kind of simple. Also for the team, so that they have a very straightforward idea of what's happening there. Ultralisk got his Maiev. Literal first pick for them. So Maiev taken. Leo and Muradin to round out the 3 hero frontline that they're using. Whereas Dehaka and Sven have quickly been taken from the Exodia stack. Who find themselves now in a very interesting situation, because they absolutely dominated the first qualifier. But now here in the second, they might be eliminated in the semifinals if they can't step it up now. They have already some really nice heroes for the map. I mean, you have Jojo on the shrine, you have Dehaka on the shrine. There's a lot of AoE that those 2 alone already give you. Normally you would add a mage to this as well, for even more control there. Gul'dan comes to mind. We could at some point see Kalthos, maybe even with Convection. Again, there's another bounty. But I would more so expect that maybe from Nano on a map, maybe on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you know, the upcoming games that they have. So we'll see. Falset banned, and so is Hanzo, so we're not gonna get any crazy arrow plays. But I am curious. I'm curious if the blue team is just saying like, yeah, we don't care if we're behind, we're just gonna play a bounty. Or if they today really just focus fully on getting as far as they can for playoff points. Tychus and Rhaegar. So very vanilla, at least up to now. Tychus always good with Odin. When we're talking about Infernal Shrines, I mean, there were the days in the DNA scene where they played Alexstrasza and Tychus whenever they could, so that they had the dragon transformation, and then also Tychus transformation into Odin. So there's a lot that they can do with that. Or that they did with that in the past, and here now we see the same. We saw it on the Korean server, we see it here on the European side. Tychus might have fallen in priority a bit, but he still gets played, as you can see. He gives us Ana and Gul'dan. Nano boosted Gul'dan. Okay, so if we're talking about Gul'dan a moment ago, I was actually expecting the team on the left side to potentially pick him. But now Dino with the final choice. No bounty attempt, by the way, over on the blue team. Oh, sorry, on the red team. So they're really now just trying to win this match and then go straight into the grand final. That's the goal here right now. You could really see them shift. They already have a bounty locked in, so that's great for them. And now the idea is, okay, let's just get a bit more done. But the final choice, Zagara. Zagara for Dino, Zagara for the Exodia stack. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, moving into game number 2 of this best of 3 semifinal at Murky Cup qualifier number 2. Game number 2, match point for the dudes. The Exodia stack in blue on the left with Hazu on Tychus. We got Dino and Zagara. Yasuo's playing Rhaegar. Sven on Dehaka and Nagrom with Jojo. Really nice lineup around the front line to take control of these shrines and lock some additional shrine minions in. Dino with Zagara, initially only played on Dragonshire, but now also utilized on many other maps. The dudes in the lead on the right side with Mopsio playing Muradin. We got Bloodcool on Gul'dan, getting the nano boost later on from Ixia, I would assume, playing Ana, Garflo and Leoric. And last but not least, and also pretty wild actually, Ultralisk finally with Maiev. She's been banned out a lot against him, but now he is finally able to play her. So we're going to get some tethers, we're going to get some aggression to try and tee people up for Gul'dan to unleash his Fellflame build that he just specced into. Pursuit of Flame as the level 1 choice. No bounties attempted in this one, as long as Zagara doesn't go for Nidus. There's always a chance that Dino's just saying, you know what? I'm just going to try and Nidus it up in this game. So that is still an option. Time will tell if he is going to play that card. I would really not put it past him. But given the fact that they're 0-1 in this best of 3, I still would assume that they're going to err on the side of caution here. But hey, we'll figure it out. We'll see what they're going to do. Now, either way, we now have at the top Zagara, pretty much alone. Leo will likely move over again and help out here, but the 4-man is getting busy in the bot lane, in the mid lane. And it's kind of cool also that the Exodia stack just lost their first map. Because in the first qualifier, they just looked so utterly, ridiculously dominant. It was just crazy. Now Gavlo at the top is trying to deal with all of the... That's actually perfect. It's the janitor. The janitor is cleaning all of the shit up that Zagara leaves on the ground here. So yeah, he's getting rid of all of that schmutz. And is trying to take the creep tumors out. It couldn't be more perfect. Zagara having all of her shit lying on the ground at the top, and then the janitor comes in and, you know, tries to clean it all up. So, yeah. Fantastic. That's exactly what we need here. Oh, this is just too damn good. The skin is so perfect now. It's actually one of the coolest things that they added that skin. That was initially just like fan art. And then they were able to put that in, so yeah. Well, I was about to say the good old days, but even then the rod was already in, I suppose. Anyways, Khaldor with some really nice hits. It's already pushing the Haka back a bit. Zagara against Lee at the top. Just look at the pressure here at the bottom of the map from the red team. They're really doing well. This particular combo that they're playing here, that sort of players, is working nicely, at least for the second qualifier. And as I said before, if you're winning a tournament, it doesn't automatically qualify you for the playoffs. It's all about gathering points. But if you make it in the grand final, and of course even more so if you win one, then you are not quite guaranteed to be in the playoffs, but you have a really nice shot, a really good shot at it. Specifically if you participate in more and more events as all of this progresses. And the playoffs then are of course a double elimination system, 6 teams moving in, and should be a lot of fun to you. Once that you have best of 5s, maybe best of 7s kicking in, you know, there's a lot that can happen as you move from one map to another, as more and more heroes are not playable anymore because they have been utilized before. So there's a lot of cool stuff. And as you're moving into game number 4, game number 5, less heroes are available, it becomes also more attractive to play a bounty because these heroes are just going to be looking so much better all of a sudden. So right now, the first objective being fought for, and as expected, the blue team is doing well on this. They have Dehaka and Jojo. How about the kills? Zagara has already started to move back after she pushed for the wall at the top, and Maiev needed to defend. And they are letting this one slide. They are hoping for a kill here, clearly, but they know that on the objective alone, they're not going to make any headway. They won't be able to grab this one. Maiev is now moving in, but just look how far ahead the blue team is already. They're 36. Even with a bit of outside poke, they should easily be able to claim this one. No chance that this is going to be taken away. So, Mopsio just moving over. There's the tether, and Nagrom. A bit low, but they're getting the Arcane Punisher. Are there going to be kills, though? And it seems like it. Yes, Tigers is gone. Everybody on the red team is also low. They got to run away before the Punisher jumps on them and takes him down here. Leo, no! He procced the jump in front of the gate by accident. Was trying to escape earlier and couldn't. With Tigers gone, I don't think this push is going to become too much of an issue anyways. But still, you of course would love to avoid that as best as you can. So, party here still continuing. Next little play being made. Another Stormbolt being hit. Mopsio! They wanted the answer there. Rega was a juicy target for a moment. Each team with a kill. Bit of a drag against Gavlo, just wasting his time a bit, but we still got camps here. And the janitor is not doing... I mean, honestly, if I am going for a performance review now, I would criticize the janitor quite a bit. Look at all of this dirt lying around everywhere. That's just unacceptable. Now, they're trying to eliminate the source, and Zagara is gone. But there is a bit more work that needs to be done by the janitor. This guy is clearly not going for the employee of the month badge here. So, yeah, not cleaning a lot. Good kill against Maiev. So, that was a counter kill. And they're just keeping it close. They're keeping it very, very close here. I like it. It's 2 kills to 2. That is an experience lead for the red team, which they could use to open up a window on around level 10. I guess it's going to happen right now. So the blue team is falling back on the camp as they're realizing that they have to go up against that. No nano boost, by the way. We get the Eye of Horrors. Eye of Horrors for Ana. So the big sniper plays are going to be executed here. Maiev, after respawning, has started to move straight up towards the top. 20,000 for Gul'dan, currently. Top damage in the game, ahead of Zagara and Tychus, who are both sitting at 14k. But he has now the level 10 abilities for the blue team. So, they won the first objective. No fort has been destroyed yet. They're still trying to also time the camp here, as you can see. But once that the next objective is up, that's where we're going to see a little bit more aggression again, I guess. And with Odin in particular, the team is going to make some moves then. Talking about ults, we have Zagara with Nidus. Sorry, not with Nidus. She went more. So yeah, no Nidus plays for her. Just ensuring that they're playing a normal game. They want to win this. They know they're behind. They just simply want to win this. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to me. Very different from what we've seen in Murky Cup Qualifier #1. But I would assume that, again, as I already explained earlier, that a huge impact on this is the fact that they're playing with 2 subs today. Gavlo gets chased. Does survive, though. The grenade doesn't connect with him. Oh, the Ancestral on point, as Ixia with Anna is just going for more snipes. So yeah, snipe after snipe after snipe here. There's the Maw. Odin already used as well, so they are pushing hard for it now. Maybe a kill against Ultralisk again. Odin is still shelling away here and doing absolute work, but nobody has fallen at encounter, so the shrine is now popping up. But I'm a little bit curious. I'm very curious to see who's going to take the next objective, because normally with Odin you would say, yep, that is where Tigers really shines and where he can make the big play. But they've already been in a spot where they used it, so the cooldown is not available anymore. At the same point, we now have the attack at the bottom against Zagara, and that's the end. Ultralisk gets dragged though, might die, and gets out. There's no rotation that will be in time to eliminate him. So they are moving in on the objective. They're going to start to take that quickly. 3 kills to 2, a level 13 lead that they will gain in a moment. It's such a tight game. It's so close. This is a frozen Punisher too. So this is a real big one if you're trying to take some structures out. One of the best chances that you're going to get on it. So we can expect this one to hurt. And yeah, they have 38. They're actually waiting this out a bit. They have level 13. So with that, you can now make the move on it. And they are apparently trying to take another camp around this as well. Now 13 will be ready for the blue team to defend, so it's going to be an eye-level fight once more. But Muradin has now Bronze Beard Rage, so that's neat. We have some synergy with the Fell Armor for Gul'dan after he initially started with Pursuit of Flame. And off we go. Oh, Zagara. Nice drag against Muradin. But Zagara is not out of the woods yet. Oh, that Stormbolt, beautiful. Perfect connect. Perfect connect here. Maw doesn't connect with anything. A Horrify gets used and Zagara gets killed. Maiev at the bottom of the map is already escorting minions onto the fort and is trying to take this one out. In the middle, we have a camp and the Punisher pushing. Again, Frozen Punisher, really dangerous for them. So this is just looking fantastic for the dudes as they are trying. Careful. Well, they lose Leo. Now he'll be back. Oh, that's a good trade. Leo will be back soon. Rhaegar, on the other hand, yeah, that's a different story. So now they eliminated the opponent's healer. The fort has been lost. Tigers is gone. Ixia just crushing it also with Anna the entire time, supporting the team, doing damage. They rotate down to take the second fort. And this is just a mad amount of momentum that is now building up here. It really feels like the dudes were able to tilt things in their favor with this last fight on the Shrine. So now it's 6 kills to 3. They are a level ahead and they're absolutely running the show here. They couldn't destroy a keep yet, but we're only 10 minutes into the game. Still a couple of creep tumors that need to be eliminated. Leo is dealing with part of it. And of course you have Gul'dan, who with the Fell Flame can easily crush this as well. But as 16 talents are coming up, that's big. That's really, really big for the red team. We have now 33,000 for Gul'dan. He's ahead of the 27k Tigers that is sitting right there. They're pushing again. The Entomb. Can they get a kill? Follow up more. Oh, yes, they can. Again, it's Bloodcool with his Gul'dan play that makes it happen. Gets the Horrify in. And they're destroying Johanna. Now the Haka is in trouble. Has to pop the Essence. Ancestral comes, but it is too late. Ancestral comes in. It's too late for them to deal with it. 16 talents, giving the red team, of course, a boost. And the dudes in massive trouble. Another fort about to fall at the bottom of the map. There is a camp pushing in. And they're just chasing them, chasing them, chasing them. Again, going for Dino. The Ancestral! There's nothing they can do here. Anna is just shutting it down. Anna is shutting it down hard. Ixia he is really the man in the back that is carrying his team in so many of these situations. Fantastic play from him, teeing them up. The entombs have been mostly on point here from Gavlo as well. They're going for Yasuo, and Rhaegar gets absolutely crushed. So this is looking better and better. I mean, honestly, Exodia stack today, not their day. They're 0-1 already against the dudes. Now the first keep falls. They haven't destroyed a single structure yet. And the air is getting real thin up here. The dudes just a bit too strong, and they want to make their way into the grand final. So big plays now from the red team. And it's really impressive. It really is. They crushed the quarterfinal. They absolutely crushed it. Now they're doing such a great job against the Exodia stack, who won the first qualifier. I want to see what happens as we're going, you know, this is the second qualifier, right? I want to see what happens when the dudes have played for a few more weeks and are entering the playoffs. At this point, I feel it's fairly alright to assume that they're making it to the playoffs. But yeah, that would this could be crazy good. If they get a bit more synergy, if they get their coordination and their play just synced up a bit better, that would be pretty sweet. I mean, either way, 16 versus 16 talents, but the 2-level advantage will help the dudes to an early level 20. Now that's not going to be a problem for the next shrine, but look at this. Yeah. Khazras onto the core and catapults. The Haka will have to spend a bit more time there. And here's the chase! Mopsio! Nah, these horrifies! Blood cool! You fucking monster! Seriously! Sven comes in with a beautiful drag, but he's now surrounded by 4 and is likely going to die. Mopsio, he at least goes down, so it's a counter kill, but it's a 2-for-1 and the Haka still dies. That makes it a triple for the red team. It's just too much. And they're not even interested in the shrine anymore. Up at the top, that fort might actually fall, but they want to go for the core. The shield is basically gone, so they're just coming in right now, trying to claim this. And with only 2 defenders, it's definitely possible. Ultron is a bit low, so is Ixia, but they still got the heals. And just look how quickly they can take the core down. Even if they're not immediately able to win the game here, just getting it this, they should win the game. But yeah, even if the defense is somehow able to push them back, that will open them up to backdoor opportunities later down the road. Ana goes down. I think that puts an end to it. Leo's also moving away. Gul'dan will fall, but it's 34% on the core. He tried for a bit more damage and couldn't really pull it off. Question, of course, that remains is, did they make too big of a mistake here? Lots of damage on the core, but it will likely result in a Punisher taken by the opponent's team. Now, on the other hand, the one thing that we still have to point out here is that there is now an opportunity to maybe gain a little bit of momentum in all of this. I mean, yeah. If they can, I was about to say if they can follow up with a few more kills. But yeah, I'm not so sure on this. Just look at that. Sven gets now chased. It's not the blue team that is looking for more kills. It's actually their opponents who are grabbing a few more. So with the level 20 that they already have, just as it seems like maybe the Exodia stack can gain some traction here. We're now looking instead at another kill against the Haka. Topside defense should be fairly straightforward considering that they have Storm talents and the opponent doesn't. I don't know, like if the Haka survives, you know, I was thinking maybe they can get to level 20, maybe they can take a 4 down at the top, but now they've just slowed things down. Maybe enough to get Storm talents themselves, but even if they do, is that going to be enough to turn the tides of the battle? I'm not so sure on that. Murden is a bit deep on the other hand. Yeah, he is definitely a bit deep on this. But they go for Rhaegar, and Yasuo doesn't make it. Murden survives. He's able to get out, and that is the end of Rhaegar. So, 2 keeps are still remaining. The core is only on 34%, and it seems like they're just trying to siege up on it. Yep. With Rhaegar gone, they're like, well, it's a 4 versus 5, but they don't have a healer. They only have 34% on the core. We're just going to siege up on that bad boy. I'm going to try and take it out. Bit of a ballsy call, but let's see if it works out. They, of course, hope to get more kills. Yeah, nice. Good Entomb. Good Entomb against Nagrom. Puts pressure onto Johanna. There's the tether. That's the kill. Jojo gone. Both teams now with level 20. A little bit low, but Ana is just getting one pew out after another. before the heals. They have to deal with Odin, of course, with the big red button here. Maybe they can't end, but they're trying. There's the double jump as Mopsio tries for... Oh, he misses both of his Storm Bolts! Mopsio! He nearly died there. Oh, that would have been bad. Can you imagine him using Rewind, jumping after Tychus twice, missing 2 Storm Bolts, and then Tychus turns it around and drops him? Anna, thankfully for Mopsio, was paying attention here and dealt with it. But yeah, that could have been a bit of a disaster if it backfires. Now the fort at the top gets destroyed. So yeah, that's another one. Maiev continuously making a moves here too. Look at the siege damage of Gul'dan, for example. It's 185,000. Look at the difference in siege damage just in general. I was highlighting initially how nice it is for the blue team to have Dehaka and also Jojo for these shrine fights. But if you're looking at siege damage, you have Leo with 140,000. That's even topped by Gul'dan on 185. And on the other side, Jojo has the most for the blue team with just barely 70, which is half. They're half of Gul'dan. That's like nothing. 67,000 damage for Gul'dan against heroes. He's absolutely running the show here. And then you have at least Sagara for the Exodia stack with 65k. So yeah, pretty wild. But, well, everybody seems to be waiting for the next objective here. More or less. Or for an opportunity to go into a team fight. The danger, of course, for the red team is that it's now level 20 versus level 20. But they are once again grabbing Dehaka, forcing him to pop Essence. Sleep Dart this time missed. He was already a bit too far away. Setting at least some pressure up at the top thanks to the camp. But here comes the Shrine in the middle. And this is another problem. Catapults now at the 18-minute mark with the camp at the bottom of the map. So this keep is already exposed. This could cost the blue team another keep. Dehaka is now slowly waddling his way down to the bottom of the map, I guess. And is starting to make his play here, but yeah, this Shrine will likely decide it. Mirin is jumping in. Mirin is missing all zoning Storm Bolts. He's not missing his Storm Bolts, he's zoning out the opponent. Avatar comes in. Yeah, a lot of zoning Storm Bolts from Mopsio here. This is like the 3rd or 4th in a row. All against Tychus. Another one misses. Come on, dude. At some point, it's just like sheer luck has to at least connect one. Keep at the bottom, as I said, is in trouble and is likely going to fall. 16 kills against 7 as they're coming in for the Punisher. Good attack against Leo. Isolation was great, but there was no kill. The Maw, on the other hand, teased them up a little bit. Maybe now a chance to go for one. And Leo falls. They can't trade him right now. Maiev also in a bit of trouble. They're all getting out. And it's these Horrifies from Gul'dan that are just way too good. Horrifies from Gul'dan, time and time again, prove too much for the blue team to handle. They're losing Rhaegar, but they still might win the objective here. Still going for the objective, still making the move. Ah, here they come for another kill. They want another kill, can they get it? Dehaka, low again, still alive. Punisher has been claimed. Sven is moving in, Mopsio is trying to threaten the backline. With Hazu getting attacked time and time again by him. Once again, the jump and the Storm Bolt misses once more. Hazu gets out, but they go for Sven and Dehaka falls. So does the keep at the bottom of the map. So 2 keeps have now been removed. The core, as a reminder, is down to 34%. And now they can try and go for game. Now that Zagara has been caught at the top, they definitely should be able to pull this off. The Punisher in the middle doesn't matter anymore. But here comes the move, and this is going to be a 2-0 victory for the dudes against the Exodia stack. What is it? Another heal, Nagrom, and... Oh, both die. I still think it's over. It's too much. It is definitely too much. There's the Horrify. This time Rhaegar survives. Bloodcool finally doesn't get the kill with the Horrify. But just look how quickly they're burning the shield down. Then again, Gul'dan is gone too. But that's game. It is the dudes that move on to the grand final of qualifier number 2. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.